is amazing. It's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Water.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Fishies in a row. They're here to make a point and to do Eddie proud. They fan out in the back.
This is amazing. It's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Water.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Fishies in a row. They're here to make a point and to do Eddie proud. They fan out in the background as they come down to turn 1 for the first time. It all looks pretty good, 2 by 2. We'll stop the camera here. Oh, Eddie would be proud, mate. That was awesome run around turn 1. But, oi! Contact with the fishies.
He's made it through. It doesn't look like Angus has made it, but Thomas Freeman's made it through, and Angus is going to suffer the crowd coming through there to be able to turn his car around. Woo.
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend, I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannon's insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
whatever you ride,
ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
And they are off. It was a good start from Dylan de Bono. I think Phil Vella got a great start there in the background as well. You can see already cars going 5, 6 wide as they're trying to find any semblance of space. They come into T1. So far we've got 2, 3 wide as they snake down. There's Michael Culture that's got around Dylan de Bono. A couple of cars going wide there. Was that a bit of contact in the back? Scott Pocock caught up in that, I think, there, buddy. But it's Michael Cullaghar's got past, so Dylan...
light is coming out and we're about to get going, and we have a green light and a very slow start for the 86s, but they are moving out there on the grid. It would be very interesting to see exactly which driver can capitalise on this first lap. Just go through the grid. Look like Jamie Christensen had a really awesome start to get ahead of Dylan de Bono, and Doug Gowage also jumped his teammate as well, so unfortunately Dylan stalled the car a little bit more than what he preferred. But
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.
Still great classes of car, and if you are able to, if you're coming up the ranks on iRacing through the licenses, it's a fantastic sort of laneway into prototype driving, going from that GT3 up through the prototype classes. As the safety car pulls in, and we get ready to go green as we come up towards the line. Edwards, Hasler, who's going to get the jump down to turn 1, or will any of the fishies, any of the piranhas in behind them, assault them down towards
green and they're off.
First lap? Let's go here.
We've always had a few cars
They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannon's,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 13 46 46 for a quote.
This is amazing. It's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't committed it, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we get a good run. Dodds just absolutely think about it. It's a really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a massive return for SRWtv for 2024. We are here for the Warren and Brown Tools V8 Supercars series here on Tuesday nights. There's been a bit of a shake-up in classes and a bit of a change to the formats here for the Supercars, which we will get into the details of that throughout tonight's broadcast. I'm your host, Hamish Munro. Joined by my side here tonight is Steve Sinkovic. Steve, great to have you here, mate. We were a little bit worried if you were going to be here on time, but you are here. You are ready to go, and it's going to be a massive season ahead, isn't it?
Oh, mate, there was nothing going to stop me tonight except for a 4-year-old that wouldn't go to sleep. But everything panned out right, and I've just walked in the door and super pumped. This is going to be an epic season. I don't know if people have been having their sticky beaks around and everything like that, but we have pretty much sold out the V8 Supercars on a Tuesday night and on the Sunday night. So we have got now... Tonight, in front of you, we have the Pro-Am and the Amateurs, so split classes, and on Sunday night, strictly Pro-Am and Pro. So we've had our grading done and everything like that, and everyone's got their positions and where they can race and what they can do, so it's been absolutely epic. I'm really pumped for it.
Now, just to let everyone at home know as well, we did have a couple of technical difficulties. We're getting our window banners on the cars here tonight. It is a progressive system that we are trying to get absolutely perfected. So not all the cars will have their correct window banners tonight. We found out when we went to apply them that some of them were in the wrong fold and all this other stuff. So both me and great race control man Greg Barber will be working on that, so then we can get those absolutely perfected for every single car of every single series, so we can produce you the best content possible here for the channel. So, Steve, I mean, big night of racing here tonight. Round one, we're back, as I mentioned. Phillip Island, absolutely fantastic track. A fantastic track for supercars. This was the first round that I called for Season 1 of 2024 for the vets, and it was absolute carnage, but it was absolutely spectacular to watch. So I think these Pro-Ams and Amateurs are going to bring us the absolute heat here tonight and going to bring us some absolutely spectacular racing out at this wonderful circuit.
Well, heat is the key word, man, because I reckon it's going to be hot amongst every single one of them. There's going to be fighting. So from the top to the bottom, we're going to have. Oh, look, we've got 50 guys registered. So look, real world will get in the way. So we don't expect a full grid. Being the first night, some people might be away still. You know, we don't know. But the thing is, from top to bottom, everyone is going to be fighting for a spot. From your amateurs down in the bottom 10 to the bottom 15, all the way up to the front of the grid. It's going to be spectacular.
Great to have everybody in the chat already, by the way. Boxer Stuff Gaming, it's great to have you here. Pricey in there as well as Simon Hayes saying that voice. It's everywhere. G'day, gents. Yeah, I know. I'm just spread across every single series, apparently, Simon. But yeah, love having Simon in my vets broadcast as well. Stephen loves to bring a bit of banter for me to chat about. But yeah, I mean, the inclusion of this new Pro-Am class and the separation of those classes across both the Sundays and the Tuesdays, it's really going to open us up to see a lot, possibly more closer racing, but actually it might give us an idea of who could actually go up to the Pro-Am class out of the amateurs, or who could go up to the pros from the Pro-Ams. and it's really just going to mix things up for us, and it might even give us a real roadmap of what the series is going to be like come the end of the year or even halfway through the year, by seeing where these people are going to really align themselves and how fast they truly may be as well.
Look, we as standard, what we do as a policy is we take 3 weeks, and we sort of renegotiate and have a look at and reframe. We regather, I should say, as a team, and see if there's anyone that stands out. In the past, we've had some people that really stood out. I remember when we had young, what was his name?
Ty Delaney?
No, not Ty Delaney. Can't remember the chap's name. Anyway, he was in, and he came in and blitzed like by about 2 seconds in the amateurs, and we're like, whoa.
Was it?
Definitely not an amateur.
Was it Rehan?
No, it wasn't Rehan. We haven't had Rehan in any of the SRWs, unfortunately. Maybe he's scared of the competition. I don't know. Anyway, look, the competition's going to be fierce from top to bottom. We've got a lot of really fast pro-ams in here, and some really capable AMs, and it's going to be down to 9 rounds of some spectacular racing, but consistency is going to be the key. So it's not just going to be the fastest guy on track that's going to take the flag home. We've seen it in the past when Joe Mahoney's won the title. He only won the very last race of the season. So consistency is a massive key, which means you've got to stay out of trouble. You've got to stay clean. You've got to show up every race and do your bit and get in the top 5 or 6, whatever you're battling for in your AMs or your pro-AMs.
Yeah, and I think I mean, Supercars as a series as a whole, doesn't matter what series you're in, whether it's SRW, whether it's Bets, whether it's Scops, whether it's GSRC, whatever it is, it's always about consistency, right? Now, yes, you'll have some people who are just ultra fast, like your James Scotts, your Madison Downs, stuff like that. But the guys who are kind of, creeping their way up the order, they're the ones who are like those, I call them the silent assassins. Like they just pick their way through the field, and they manage to get up there, up the top, week in and week out. You're like, how do they do that? It's just they don't get into incidents and they don't make mistakes. They may not have the 1 lap pace of your James Scotts, Jared Filsells, Madison Downs, whoever, but they have the consistency, the same amount of consistency as those blokes. That's why they're able to get up the front all the time as well. Gerard Sanfuentes has said would have been Jeff, apparently, that you're talking about. I don't know, though. But
no, it was the young fella. His brother races in the second level of the V8s. Jet Murray.
Oh, Jet Murray, yeah.
That's what I was thinking of, Jet Murray. Yeah. But let's get back onto what's out in front of me on the screen. I'm seeing Darren Crosby on the top position already in practice. So he's a past champion in this Tuesday night category. But what's really interesting is Andrew Cowan's in second place at the moment. I'm hoping Andrew Cowan can turn around from last season. Last season was not one of his better ones, considering the season before he'd won the title. So I'm hoping he can get some consistency back into his racing. I know his strategy last season was to send it and be that little bit more aggressive out of his style. Now he's going back to his normal style, which I think will be more consistent, and it'll be a lot easier for him to get a few more points as he gets up the table and get himself into a fighting position for when it counts.
Yeah, I know that Cowie, when I spoke to him, he said, his focus this season is just try and get that consistency down pat, because that is where as we mentioned, the speed comes from, as Mr. Kennedy drives off the edge of the track there. But yeah, so it's all about getting that consistency absolutely perfected and making sure that you are hitting your markers lap in and lap out, because with consistency comes speed. So you may not actually have the 1 lap pace to start with, but if you have the consistency, your lap pace will end up trickling up and up and up until you are actually quite fast and you are actually competing for those podiums or those wins. So, these are the important things that we need to try and think about. I can hear myself in your background, Stephen, and I believe it's coming across in the broadcast as well, but I don't know.
Whoa, well, that's unusual, because we've never had that issue before. Anyway, the other thing that we're looking at is some of the names that are out here, some of the names that have come back. I can see right in front of me is Daniel Schultz, who defected from Team SRW to, I don't know, some peasant racing team, PSR or something. I won't even go into the name.
Yeah.
Into Tyson's team. So anyway, but there's names that are coming back. I can see Scotty Weston's there, Shane Ewens, Anderson, Zedler, Smith. So there's a lot of names that have come back from last season. I think the boys, that just puts it out there and says that the boys have had a lot of fun. Daniel Clutterbuck, previous Pro-Am champion, back in the series after his trek around Australia. He took the second part of the year last year and decided to travel around the family.
Wow. I also just have gotten confirmation there was actually no feedback apparently on the broadcast, but I could hear it. So maybe it's just that I can just hear it, no one else can, but that's fine. I tell you what, one name to look out for, or two names to look out for. So you mentioned Scotty Weston. Now, Scotty, back like a couple of seasons ago in Vets, he was like battling for podiums. Somehow he has lost his pace a little bit these last few seasons. Ironically, it was probably around the time when Taipan actually kind of separated into their two separate teams as practice comes to an end. Another one to look out for is Craig Healy. He has just recently gotten to his 150th race start for the Vets, and he's getting more and more consistency week in and week out. So he's a driver that we should probably keep an eye on as one of those ones who can rise up the ranks and kind of start challenging for those podiums more often. So, but it's a very good spread of field, I think, here tonight. We've got about 20 or so drivers out there, maybe 25 or so drivers. But yeah, I think it. What a track to come back to as well. So
and it's still qualifying, so people are probably trying to get into the system now as we speak as well. Just to get onto Daniel Schultz's car for a second, mate. Just want to see something.
Let's see if I can find it. If he is out on track, here he is. There he is.
There he is. Yeah. Oh, he has. All right. My system, the funny thing was my trading pace hasn't updated on my PC on the that I watched or listened to race through, and it had the old SRW livery on it, and I was thinking, oh, how funny would that be?
Yeah, I did see someone out there with the old SRW livery, so maybe that was what I saw and then it updated. But
yeah. I'll have to tell Tyson that livery is ugly, man. That is terrible.
Does Cowie have the same one as him?
It's a different colour tone, but that is just so hard to read the sponsors. I think he needs to revisit that. Cowie's is a bit clearer.
I think Cowie's is a bit better. I've seen Reese to go his one because he's been running in Split 3. Big shout out to Reese, actually. He's been absolutely killing it in Split 3 of Vets this season. His livery, you can really read the sponsor well, and it's because it's a similar style to Cowie's where it has the black background behind the sponsor. But yeah, I would say from a designer's standpoint, probably need to get some black behind that too, easy find. It's similar to how it's on the bonnet. Just to make it a bit easier to read.
With some less distraction in the background.
Yeah.
I mean, both you and I are graphic artists, so that's just a natural thing for us. Tyson's sitting in the director's chair right now, cringing and breathing under his breath, going
great time,
like Muttley the dog. But it's all good, man. We're all having fun, and as me and you are here tonight, so we've had a bit of a shuffle of the broadcast team. So some of you might know that our Shibby, our legendary lead producer, is taking the season off to spend a bit more time with family because he's been full on into business with us since the day we opened our doors as a broadcast team. And so it'll be myself and Hamish on a Tuesday night. Monday nights we'll have good old Toddy back with some guest hosts to help out there. Cowie will be doing that for the meantime. Wednesday night will be Hamish and Cowie back for the F3s. Thursday night will be Toddy producing with, I'm hoping Brendan Walton will be back in time for that. Watch this space, where Brendan used to commentate with us in Season 2. Friday night, we've got the double duo of yourself, Hamish, and Preacher. And then Sunday night, back to me and you again, mate. So a lot of things happening. Formula V, Motorsport Australia event. So we've been asked to take that on, and we have. And our Toyota GR86s is now the Motorsport Australia Shannon's Toyota GR86 Nationals. So that is another one that's been taken up by Motorsport Australia. We are now the only league out there that has two Motorsport Australia events under their banner.
I'll tell you what, I was going to mention before we spoke about Daniel Schultz. He was top of the timing sheets for a moment there, but then Peter Baxter and Billy Mole, and now Michael Quatch and Daniel Clutterbuck just dropping him right down the order. So the times are coming in quick and fast. They were running about 28s, 29s in practice, and the time is just running down, just trickling down like a tap turned on. Like it is just flowing straight out now, and it's great to see all these
Rick
cars
Vickers
out
just
there.
pops the top as well.
Yeah, Viger, be careful of Viger, mate. He is an absolute weapon on track. He's another guy to look out for. Had the absolute
I remember when
pleasure.
Rick first started out at SRW, he was at my pace.
Yeah, so
And how much he's improved over the last 12 months is ridiculous.
mate, I've had the
quick
absolute
barrage,
pleasure.
people.
I had the absolute pleasure of all of last year calling his action in Split 2 of Vets. he is an absolute weapon on track. He finally made split one once again coming into this season, and he is just getting better and better. And I think he was always kind of the bridesmaid, never the bride for 2023. Still never ended up winning that Split 2 championship, but finally won himself the promotion. So he is he's on absolute fire at the moment. Great to have Tyson's in there. He's confirmed your theory as well. Great to have Iceback Gaming saying go the Pelicans. So good old Pelican Esports in there. Greg Barber in the chat, Matty SR, Jason Douglas as well. Great to have you all here. Great to have you all watching with us live here tonight for round 1 of 2024 for the V8 Supercars, brought to you by Warren and Brown. And Steve, I'm absolutely excited for this. You know, I love Supercars. Obviously, kind of our big news over the after the break was unfortunately Peter Gretton has left SRW, and we wish him all the best, of course. And we hope to see him, you know, whatever he does in his career and his life, we hope that he succeeds with that. He was really eager to come and do Supercars, but I feel absolutely pleasured to be the one to take over that from Shibby and have a real crack at this for this season as well. So it should be a lot of fun.
Look, it's gonna be fun, mate. It's gonna be an absolute rip tearer everywhere from top to bottom. And I'm just watching some of the people that are just ripping it around here everywhere. I just noticed that Michael Whiting and Chris Miller connected into the session. They must have done it by accident because they're probably looking for the practice session. But have a look at the times already now. People are starting to set some standard out there already. Vigar, Barrage, Clutterbuck, Kwashi, teammates, both back this season. Matty Whitaker, Taylor Baxter. Peter Baxter's going to be an interesting one. He said he wanted to be out the back racing with me, but I told him I won't be racing V8s this season. Possibly I might get back into it next season, or if ever, I don't know. But it's good to see some of these boys out there that have been and gone and come back, and looking real good. Also, what's our top time at the moment, mate? I can't see it.
Crosby's just said it, mate, a 1:28.77. I noticed that he had two purple sectors through the first 2 sectors, and I'm like, oh, he's going to set the fastest time, and I changed him when he crossed the line. 28.77. First car to get into the 28s here tonight. Currently running 0.2 of a second faster than Rick Viger, currently P2. Actually, no, it's a bit more than that. It's about 4.4 of a second faster than him. So, yeah, he's absolutely blitzing it at the moment out there on track, and could be in for some close racing tonight, Steve. The times are close. And I think they're only going to stay just as close as they are. It's only going to be decided with a couple of tenths, even maybe a couple of hundredths for each position.
I think so. I think we'll see pretty much happen here what we saw last season in Tuesday night and on the Sunday night. The times from, say, even from 1st to 20th. I mean, if you look at the top 10 shootouts and stuff like that, we only had like 1.5 seconds gap. So it's ridiculous, which means it's going to be some mega battles. A lot of paint scrubbing too.
Oh yeah, mate. Only one car out there at the moment who's not set a time, that being Jeremy Bush from Locked On Lads Racing. So he's the only one who's actually not been out on track and set a lap time, of course, out of the Pro-Am class. So we've had 25 lap times set. So that whole timing tower is everyone who has set a time. We do not have to worry about the one in the session who's currently dropped below that. Everyone else has set one, so it's good to see. Sean Vandermeulen as well, new to the series, into the amateurs. He's actually managed to outpace 2 Pro-Ams, so I hope he feels proud of that one, being that this is his first race. I think it might actually be his first league race as well, so that's pretty impressive from him.
Who's that?
Sean Vandermeulen, currently not out on track,
yep.
but so he's also a privateer, so you know, maybe some teams want to keep an eye on him, see if he does well this season, maybe pick him up next season.
Exactly.
He's all brand new to this, so.
Some people in the chats saying hello. Matty, who we missed out on, has gone to crisscross, saying go for it, boys. I'm going to rip some skids. Jason Douglas, he got promoted to the pros this season from the Pro-Am. So good luck to Jace. He'll be racing on Sunday night. He's out there. I've been watching him develop as a driver in the Sunday night racing, and he's done some epic battles and some really good fighting, and I think he just needs that little bit extra practice, and he's going to tear it up on a Sunday night. Simon Hayes is turn your mic up, Hamish.
I have done that, mate. Don't worry, caught that one before.
Yeah, Jamie Davis is welcome back, boys. Jamie is fingers crossed. I'm going to have that chat to you tonight, Jamie, but Jamie will hopefully be racing for SRW. And good old Sheefy. He spent a bit of time with me, a lot of time with me in the car, driving up and down from Summernass to Canberra and back. So we got to know each other pretty well. Got to know how bad we smelt as well. So we had a lot of fun and a lot of hard work as well up there. Dodzy, how are you, mate? Good to see you back. Looking forward to the season. First thing I did today was when I went back to watch one of the reviews, and I turned it on, and there I saw Dodzy in his singlet in a cam shot. Hopefully Dodgy can put a shirt on and get some better lighting.
I just noticed as well, Burrow just gone P2 in this session at the moment. I've also got something, I've got some, I don't like to tip my own horn too much, but I do love changing up my car cameras a little bit. And we've got a very special one here for the Mustang. Anyone who is familiar with my Supercars broadcast will know that I absolutely love this camera. It is the inside the wheel well camera where we can actually see the suspension movement on the Mustang. It's only on the Mustang. It's not on the Commodore. If I find a Commodore that's on track, I'll show you the equivalent of what I've actually done. We've got one looking straight out the boot, so if any of them turn into a ZB Crewman, we'll be able to just see straight out the boot because there'll be nothing there. So yeah, so just something quite special to talk about, because especially at this track as well, we can see the actual suspension movement through some of those corners, especially down at the bottom of MG as they come down under load straight through the right-hander. It'll be a very, very good opportunity to see how much suspension movement we actually get with some of these cars out there on track. So you know, just trying to get some more info on the cars, and I think it's only going to help us learn a lot more how tough these cars really are to drive. You know, a lot of people think Sinker that these are actually the most difficult cars to drive on the service, and I tend to agree with them because they are incredibly difficult.
Yeah, 100%. There's no ABS, there's no traction control. These things drive, a lot of people when they drop in them for the first time say that it's like driving on ice. I've got a quick question for the viewers out there. It's good to see you all out there in big numbers already. What do you think of the new layout, the new backgrounds and the new colours and everything? We did some work over the summer. The whole intro is brand new, the timing tower is brand new, and we're trying to bring it up to another level and take the show to the next level.
Yeah, big shout out to JB Broadcasting, who helped us out with these overlays. That guy's an absolute legend, an absolute gem. Any issues we had with them, he was happy to give a hand to us and help us figure out any of the niggles and the problems that we had. In fact, he's based out of the UK, and I asked him late at night the other night when I was trying to figure it out, and he helped me out immensely. So big shout out to him, and a big thank you to him as well for doing this for us, because it's just helping us bring a whole new level to this show and a whole new level to the channel as well, which is really, really great. But Ty Delaney in the chat as well, returning champion in P4, go Witsy. So yeah, Matty got a good time down already, 129.114. Yet to get into the 28s, but the top three all in the 28s at the moment. Sinker, as we come into the final sort of 3 and a bit minutes of the session.
We're in the business end.
So these times are only going to get faster for this session now. It's crunch time for these drivers. Anyone who wants to try and get the best qualifying position they can, this is going to be their last shot. They're probably going to get about 2 more laps in if they're able to get out on track. So, but also top 6 cars, all Pro-Ams. Then through 7th down to 9th, it's amateurs, and then 10th is a Pro-Am as well. So to explain the colouring for anyone as well, they might be confused with the timing tower. Black background of the number means it is a Pro-Am. Red background of the number means it is a amateur. The blue is the car we are currently looking at. So just to save any confusion, if you're wondering who we're looking at, just look on the timing tower. If the number's blue, it means that's the car we're looking at.
Yeah. So that'll keep developing, and we'll get some new things we'll be doing as we go through the season as well. Jamie Davis said that Brad Anderson is new to iRacing, and he got in here because of us, I guess, from watching the shows and seeing how much fun it is out there, and hearing from all the drivers how much fun it is.
I'll tell you what, I also, by misclicked there, I accidentally clicked on Mitch Noble, but I'm just going to click back to him here, because he is running the Team SRW livery out on track.
Oh, he is, definitely, because he is our newest driver. Mitch Noble is the Logitech ACC champion. So he actually raced for Logitech at as one of their teams and represented them around the world in the world titles and things like that, and did really, really well. This is his first time in a V8 supercar racing it, so he's still getting used to it. He's still getting the handle of the car. I've got to get someone out there with him to give him a bit of a hand and give him a bit of help, because he's adapting still from the V8 supercar, from the ACC format to iRacing as well. So a few things he's working on.
I'll tell you what, you've thrown him in at the deep end. Instead of putting him into a GT3 in iRacing, you put him into a supercar. That's like...
Well, it was his choice. It was his choice. I said to him, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But he is racing everything. So he's
Yeah.
racing the Formula 3s. He's racing the GR86s. So he's out there having fun. We met, if you guys watched us at Summernats, we met Mitch as he was competing against John Bow and Andrew from Street Machines, and the three of them were racing a race that we live streamed. So yeah, that's how we met the guy.
I'll tell you what, Singer, we spoke about graphic design earlier. I just want to quickly say, I reckon his headlights need to be coloured. I reckon that would make that thing look absolutely, like if they were like red or like a yellow or something, you know, something that really would stand out on the front of that car. I reckon it'll take that livery to a whole other level. But Rick Viger has now pipped Darren Crosby for pole position as well. 128.69 is the lap time. So 0.11 of a second faster than Crosby, and Crosby is not able to finish his best time, so Viger will go top of the timing tower in this session. Matty Whitaker is the only car who can realistically beat this time, and he's pulled off the circuit, so it's looking more and more likely that Viger is going to be our first pole sitter of 2024 Season 1 Sinker.
Nice work, nice work. Someone did ask earlier if there's going to be a top 10 shootout. Only twice this season. We'll only be doing the top 10 shootouts during enduro races, just like we do in the real world.
Which tracks will they be at? If you can
I don't know off the top of my head, mate. It's all a big blur to me at the moment.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
Yeah. How good's Mr. Martin's car looking?
Let's have a look here.
He's looking good in that.
Yeah, in that Pelican car. Oh, you see them everywhere now. Those Pelicans, like they're just
looking really good.
They're popping
really
up
good
everywhere. You know.
Yeah, and I think Whitaker's gone with the White Australia Day version of the.
He has
of the fishy cars.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Yeah, it's like the HRT car.
Yeah. Looks like it's missing the logo on the doors though, so might have to have a quick look at that, mate.
Yeah, maybe. He might need to fix his car a little bit possibly, because he's put the banners on his car, which is nice that he did that. Again, it wasn't a requirement that the drivers did do that, but we did appreciate it if they did. Again, we're just trying to figure out our little niggles on our end so we can get these absolutely perfect, so we can do them and we don't actually have to chase anyone up to do them. Just take the pressure off the drivers so they can just focus on driving their cars and not having to worry about if they have the right banners on their cars, because, well, it's easier for us to worry about it because we can fix it. So.
So, question. All right, off the top of our heads, straight away in the Pro-Ams, the top 5 for the qualies has been Rick Figure, Darren Crosby, Jason Barrage, Steve Kennedy, Matty Whitaker. What are the AMs? Is it
Michael
Kwashi?
Kwashi, Steve Martin, Daniel Clutterbuck, Brett Taylor, and Peter Baxter. So there's 2 Vets boys in there, or a couple of Vets boys in there. Peter's doing very well. He's a pretty strong competitor in the Vets, same as Brett. Brett's also struggled a little bit these previous seasons, but I know he's got the pace in him when it really works out for him. So we're going to get into our warm-up session right now. Our first warm-up session of the season. This is going to give the drivers an opportunity just to do their practice starts, get warmed up around this track, because it's going to be a big night of racing for them, and well, they're really going to need that consistency. Phillip Island is a track where you need that consistency, because any mistake can lose you any number of positions. So it's all going to be about that consistency, as we've mentioned.
Yeah, well, the key points on this is going to be that getting a good run out of the last corner, or it's sort of like 2 corners really in one. Getting a nice clean run out of that so you can get a lot of pace down that main straight, and then getting a lot of pace around that first left-hander, because that's a killer. You can lose a lot of time through there. And then you've got a few key points coming down. Is it Honda that comes down really sharp and turns right?
So Honda is, it's not Honda anymore. Now it is Miller. So Miller corner, which is turn 4. So we're coming up to turn 3, which is Stoner, and then round through turn 4 is Miller. And then up through Siberia, then through Hayshed, then up through MG. I had to learn the corner names when I was doing I did a multi-class race around here. I commentated it, so I wanted to learn all the corner names properly. So we got all that ready to go. Marty Hansen in the session now as well. I need to check if he's actually in my list.
Scotty Weston came in and came out. He must be having some issues. So I think some of the boys have issues. I know that some of the boys haven't actually. They must be still in holiday mode, because there's about 14 that hadn't accepted their iRacing invite just yet, but have paid.
Well, to be fair,
it
took me a quick minute to find where the invites are on the UI, because I can't do it on the website anymore.
Yeah.
So that can also be a bit of an issue sometimes. I'm just trying to find Marty on this list so I can add him to the timing tower because he was not in here when I added all the drivers.
Yeah. Well, what's your prediction, mate?
Oh,
what's your prediction?
Rick Viger. I gotta go, my boy Viger. I've got a real soft spot for him after watching him these last 4 seasons. He's an absolute weapon.
I'm going to go for the Pro-Ams. I'm going for Crosby.
That's fair call, mate. That's fair call.
Yep, Darren Crosby. I reckon he's going to take that. And I reckon in the AMs, I know he hasn't been around for a while, but I'm going to go Daniel Clutterbuck.
That's a good shout. I reckon the AMs, I'm going to go... I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say Clutterbuck as well. I think he could have a good
He's going to be a bit rusty. He's going to be a bit rusty, but he's generally he won't take to risks where he doesn't need to, and I think that consistency will get him through it.
Travis Daly out there on track now as well for MSR.
Yep. There's a few latecomers to the grid. The boys are still working out their braking points and how they're going to take that first corner. Race control is currently going through the general just housekeeping and telling guys what they've got to do, what's going on. So it's all going to get passed through to him. So he's doing the briefing right now, as Barb's is put on there.
Yeah. Great to have in the chat as well, Sinker, giving us a happy 2024.
Yes. Ray Douglas, good to see you back on, Ray. It's good to see that the regulars are watching week in, week out. I mean, what better things to do these days than watch SRWtv than the crap that's on TV these days? It's true, mate. I don't even watch normal TV anymore. So they will fast forward the timer now once they've done their briefing to probably about 3 minutes mark. That's what Tyson mentioned before, but it's already near the 3 minute mark anyway.
Oh, we're at 4 minutes already. We're 4 minutes into this warm-up, so I mean, they finished it now, so they have now finished the warm-up, so we will get ready to go racing for the first time in 2024 here tonight, Sinker, and as we mentioned, probably mentioned a little bit too much, it's going to be an absolute cracker. You know, I am super excited.
Look, we're excited, mate. We're both excited, so it's there. But before we get into the serious stuff, new sponsor on board, Shunts. Check them out on their website. You can't quite see it at the moment because it's in a white background. Neuro Power, Grib Industries, Shannon's, Warren and Brown Tools, and Motorsport Australia are all getting behind us at the moment. So DSL Railway Services, who have come back on board as well. So look after these people that look after us, please. Go out there and check out their websites and have a good day. Boys are gridding up.
Exactly right, mate. So let's get through this grid. So pole position here tonight with the time of 1 minute 28.693. It is for Angry Birds Racing, Rick Viger in the 014 Mustang. Lining up alongside him in P2, Darren Crosby from M1 Racing. Just ahead or just behind them, his teammate Chris Burridge out of P3 for M1 Racing. Alongside his teammate as well, it's an M1 Racing all row 2 there, Stephen Kennedy. Matt Whitaker will then start at a P5 here tonight for Fishy Motorsports. He'll line up alongside MSR's Travis Daly at a P6. Michael Quaich will start at a P7 here tonight, just beside Stephen Martin for Century Motorsport at a P8, with Billy Mole starting at a P9 just alongside. Daniel Clutterbuck will then start at a P10 here tonight, just ahead of Brady Taylor from VMM Esports in P11, with Andrew Cowan for PSR starting out of P12. P13 goes to Peter Baxter here tonight for Coast to Coast Racing, just ahead of Jeremy Bush in P14, with Adam Jepson starting at a P15 here tonight. Blake Fitzpatrick will then start at a P16, just ahead of Sean Smith at a P17 for Wildfire Racing. Daniel Schultz then starts at a P18, ahead of an EWR lockout for 19th and 20th. That going to Scotty Weston in P19 and Craig Healy in P20. David Leslie then starts at a P21 for Be Positive Racing, just ahead of Pete Ziedler at a P22, with Shane Newens coming in P23 for Mauler Racing. Mitchie Noble will then start at a P24 here tonight with... I got to find his name. With Sean Newens starting at a P25 and Brad Anderson at a P26. Marty Hansen will then line up in P27 with Tyson McAvoy and Jamie Budd and Greg Barber as our race controllers here tonight. Great to have them on board as our race controllers, and a massive thank you guys. That's Race Control as always. But I'm excited, and this is going to be an absolutely massive race and a massive start to the season, Cinco.
Oh, it's going to be good, mate. It's going to be real good. I'm watching these cars just sitting there bouncing at the moment. You can see them, just the V8s pumping them along, getting ready. Big long queue of cars, which I love to see, and it's all going to get down to the nervy part. First start. Let's see how much practice these boys have had in the off season, and in other series, because the start of the race, first round, is always the one that's a bit twitchy.
Well, mate, Viger's going to have the control of this field when we start this one. Crosby's going to want to have a strong start off this. Viger's going to have massive pressure in behind. 3 M1 racing cars on the back of him coming through turn 1. It's going to be real sink or swim for him. He has got a good pressure gauge on him, though. He is really, really good at holding it all together. We are waiting to go racing, though, here tonight for the Warren and Brown V8 Supercars series on a Tuesday night. Should be a massive night of racing. We've gridded up Sinker. Let's get ready to go. The lights are up for the V8 Supercars. First round of 2024. Who's going to get the jump down to turn 1? It's green flag racing. Viger has a massive start there. Crosby absolutely balked himself off the start. Burridge, Kennedy, Whitaker all making their way up through the field. A lot of movers and shakers down the bottom of the field there for some of the amateurs, but Viger has had a massive run through turn 1, and he is leading the way as they come through turn 2.
We'll talk about the name and pronunciation of his name. I like to call him Vigor, but he did a fantastic start off there. But the M1 boys are no slouches. They've already caught up to him. They're already right on the back of him. There's already a bit of tussling going on across the back of the field.
As we come down towards Miller, you can see the gain under brakes of the M1 car in behind. And Viger just trying to survive right now. I'm just going off the pronunciation that he told me it was. So I know there's a bit of confusion with it, but big moving and shaking at the moment. There has been some contact in behind. A couple of cars have gone off track off the exit. We'll get that replay up at the end of lap 1. But Viger under an absolute assault right now from Burridge. He's absolutely burridging him up through Hayshed. How are they going to go around MG?
No space at all. No space at all. These guys are hunting each other like crazy. You sure it's Burridge? It's not Crosby?
It's Burridge, mate. Crosby's dropped down to P6. He's down 4 spots. There he is right there on the back of
there
Travis
he is right
Daly.
there.
Up the inside goes Clutterbuck. Gets the nose cut off and can't quite do it.
Yep, showed him the nose, told him he's there. There's a few boys that are going to make a few little appearances across that bit of dip there, getting those on. There's a couple of different angles in the entry of that part of the track as well.
As we come down, we finish off the first lap of this race.
Nice and clean,
line.
no safety car. Whoa, well done, lads.
Let's get our in-tool up so we can see how close the field is, and look at all those orange numbers on screen. Just absolutely tight racing throughout the whole field. Darren Crosby goes off the track at turn 1.
How's he going to enter?
Very lucky not to collect anyone there.
Well done.
Look at this, Schultz is going to try and run it up the outside of him as well. This is going from bad to worse for him. Adam Jepson's gone off the track as well.
Yep. Crosby's called that in, so there must have been some contact somewhere across the back there.
We'll try and get a replay up for everyone at home just to see what has happened to him here. Let's have a look. We'll go into the replay. I know I've got to get the new replay thing up as well, but we just ran out of time, unfortunately. Look at this. Around the outside of the MSR car. Oh, a little bit of a block. And out he goes. I don't know about that one, Steve. There has been a crash, though, between Ziedler and Hansen. Let's check this one out here.
Yeah, there's not much room either way there, so...
Down through Miller. What's happened? Have they just lost? Oh, he's just lost the rear end.
He's just lost
nowhere
traction.
to go.
No. There's
Nowhere
3
to go.
cars that got impacted there. 2 JMK cars into it straight away. That's a shame. Let's see how the boys are travelling. They're doing really well out there. Mitch Noble's gone up a few places. 10 places, my little teammate. Well done, lad.
Let's check out the gain at the moment. So, biggest mover of this race, Mitchy Noble. He's up 12 spots in this one. The biggest shaker at the moment is going to Darren Crosby. He's currently down 8 positions off the start of this race. So not what you want to see if you're a Darren Crosby fan, but well, we know he's got the pace, so he could try and come back at this thing if possible.
Mate, there's plenty of time for Darren to make his way back up the field, mate. He's got the know-how, he's got the nous. He'll work his way through the field slowly. Good to see Clutters, Kwashi, teammates. Martin, Schultz and Noble, top 5 AMs there already, just out of the top 10 and in the top 10, so that's pretty good to see. Cowan sitting in 6th, Travis Daly 5th, Kennedy. Stephen Kennedy's come a long way as well. He was him and Crosby, I know I talk about this all the time, was one of the first few guys that I raced with at the very, very beginning of FRL. And Steve Kennedy's improved a lot, mate, a real lot.
We just saw it as well through Miller and up through Siberia. Matty Whitaker is now up into P2 in this race, and he's trying to hunt down Rick Viger like an absolute hyena hunts a gazelle. There's been a big slide in the background, though, and there's been contact between Martin Clutterbuck and Daly. What has happened up through MG as they come up the hill? Here's Martin. There's the big slide ahead of him there from Daly, and just massive collection.
Someone just lost the rear end, that's all.
That's a massive collection between those guys.
Yeah, there is. You know that that hyenas attack hunt in packs, mate?
Oh,
Not
mate, that's
one-on-one.
fine. Oh, okay, all right. We'll go with something else then. We'll go with a wolf then, Shell. Oh no, wolf hunting packs as well.
No, wolf hunting packs as well, mate.
Oh well, all right. He's a piranha hunting down a salmon. How about that one? He's a piranha hunting down a salmon.
You're getting worse and worse, mate. Piranhas hunting schools.
Not always.
That's all right, mate. I'll let you go on this one. But these boys are putting up a fight left, right, and centre.
They are, mate. He's the lone piranha tonight. That's what he is. He left the school behind. But Viger leads Whitaker, leads Burridge, leads Kennedy, leads Clutterbuck. That's the top 5. Schultze, Cowan, Noble, Mole, and Bush is the 10. And what a run it has been from these guys here tonight. We can already see those.
Schultze get in as an AM. That's a tough one.
I don't know, but him and Noble are currently battling it out for most positions gained. Schultze's had 12, Noble's had 17 here tonight. And I know some people might complain that I don't do my regular number counts. I decided to only do it for 20 plus now because it was doing a bit of hurt on the throat. So I'm sorry, but you only get regular counts of gains now, unfortunately. But Ricky Viger, what a run it has been for him.
The grid is full, and you can't sit there and do all of them. It's
that's it.
There's just too much.
That's it. Oh, I don't do them all anyway. I had it set for only plus 10, so if it was over 10, I'd do it. But yeah, it just wouldn't work out.
I just saw Cowie on another screw coming on the inside, losing the rear end, and just getting control back in time. Well done by young Cowie.
And we have
these boys. There's Sammy Noble again.
Yeah, we have this first instance here tonight of the ZB crewman running around there. You can see no boot on this car. We get a straight look out the back of it now. And he's under. Oh, look at this move in behind. This is Cowie's car. He's got Bush and Taylor in behind. Taylor wants it down the inside, not quite close enough. Those two boys know each other well from vets, and they are racing hard against each other at the moment. Sean Smith wants to get in on the action too, but not quite close enough as we come round turn number 2. Just quickly, Singo, is this a timed race?
It is.
Okay. I need to have time up there, not laps, because I thought it might be laps.
Correct.
So we'll go
yes, correct. We'll do a time.
There we go. Now we know how long is left.
The boys are going 2 by 2. The respect out there is just ridiculous. For a first night out, take my hat off to the boys, the way they're racing side by side. Some of these corners aren't really corners for 2 by 2, and they're really doing it well.
Yeah, for a track that's not really well known for its passing opportunities, they are just like artists. They are creating them as they drive along. Like it is, It's great to see. Also as well, Matty Whitaker is just slowly creeping up on the back of Rick Viger now. The gap is now at 1.1, nearly 1.2 seconds. He's trying to eke his way closer and closer, but Burridge still trying to hound Whitaker from behind. These guys are about 0.3 of a second separated, so these times are just going to, the problem is if you let Viger out the front and not get attacked, he'll just run away because he just has that consistency and that pace about him. So
Jeremy Bush has got a drive-through penalty.
Oh, that's not good for Mr. Bush, and he has not done it this lap, so we'll have to wait and see when he comes through the lane for that drive-through. And, well, that's not good for him. We can see the wall wound on the side of the car. It's not this side, it's on the other one.
Yeah, and it's got himself in a good position too. He's got himself in the 10th place, which is really going to cost him. So this is the key. With such close timing, if you have a look at the timing board, there's still a lot of orange across it, but the cars are starting to feather out away from each other. But if you'd have a slight spin, or if you go through a drive-through, you're gone. You're losing so much road space. That's ridiculous. You'll end up down in about 20th, 25th.
Well, I mean, we've already seen. Oh, there's a little bit of a knock there with
He touched the grass and just keeps it.
I'll tell you what, though, this is some great racing. A little bit of rub is good.
Tyson's driver versus my driver here.
Yeah.
This could be a pay cut.
Could be some bragging rights on offer here for one of you guys, but yeah, a little bit of a rub there, you know, but I think it was a respectful one, you know. It was just like,
Yes, it was.
You know,
Yes,
it was like,
Yeah.
I'm here and we're going to do this while we're driving around, but I'm not trying to balk you, sort of thing, you know, which is still good to see. You know, it's good to see just that little bit of rub in his racing mentality out there. Although
He's going to stick his nose in.
Oh, Cowie's car, though, is looking worse to wear off that front end. You can see that tyre just hanging out of the quarter panel.
Well done by Mitch there. He hasn't got the run as much as Cowie did, but he's got himself in front of him. Well done. I think some of that damage might be actually affecting Cowie's car a bit as well.
Yeah, I think so. Now, the rear wing does not normally affect them because of the lack of downforce it has already. But normally, if you get that sort of, if you get some stuff on the front of the car or anything with your steering, that can really start to hurt you. So Cowie just needs to try and keep this clean up until that pit stop and try and get that car fixed. So
yeah, he's going to be drafting that a long way through.
Oh, he will.
Well done by Mitch. First time out in competitive racing in a V8 supercar. Well done, lad. So we are coming into... I'm trying to think back to last season. I think it was around lap 20, around the 20-minute mark or something like that, that we had first pit stops in. What are we at now?
Let's have a look at our laps, what we're currently on. I believe we're on lap 7. So we're lap 7 at the moment, 10 minutes into our hour-long race. So that'll probably be about lap 14. Lap 14 sounds about right for a pit stop around Phillip Island. Maybe a little bit later. The track temp at the moment, let's bring up our weather. That should bring up our track temp.
Cowie's got himself past Noble there, so he did really well.
Let's have a look here. So our track temp is currently 26
Andrew
degrees.
Cowan has got himself a drive-through penalty for a previous incident. He is going to be going in. So that fighting just then is going to put him back a fair bit now.
Yeah. Just had a comment as well from Stephen Banks, Blake Fitzpatrick, new team, good old Pacific Esports Racing. So he's currently out there trying to back up the other Pelican that's out there. Cowie has now come in for his drive-through. He's doing well on debut here. He is down though. He's up 1 position in this race, but he's down 2 in his class. He's still doing very, very well out there to stay in the fight at the moment. P15 now that Cowie's come in. So he'll just be trying not to lose anything out here. But Hansen putting massive pressure on him here in that GMK Logistics car.
Yeah, there's. I'm just having a look at the back end of the field there. Boosh and Crosby's got himself down at 23rd. I think he must have pitted or something as well. The Daly. Yeah, there's a few boys that are sort of battling around. A bit of a tight fight there with Scotty Veston and Vandermeer. They're on the tail of each other like nuts. And then you've got a battle pack there going from Smith, Noble, Taylor, Jepson, Baxter, Healy, Newens, Hansen, Fitzpatrick, all like 4th, 5th, 10ths apart from each other, fighting like crazy.
Yeah, there's absolutely nothing between them. I mean, this is the long train. We'll head up into our blimp here and we'll have a bit of a look. So this is kind of the back of the train, and then that's where the front of the train is. So actually, it's a little bit further back. There's the front of the train. So that's the train that's currently battling it out at the moment. As Noble's under pressure from Taylor down there through turn, I'm going to say it's turn 10. Gets by him, but these guys are still battling it out at the moment, leaving nothing on the table.
See, this is the key. So Noble's not actually racing Taylor. So if he gets past him, he gets past him. His next competitor is Baxter, 3 places back now. So that's where his fight is going to be. But he's just got to tag on the back of Taylor and get the momentum and keep running. That's what I'd be saying to him if I was his team boss, and he could hear me right now.
Let's just quickly see how those classes are going if we bring them up here. So we can see Clutterbuck leading the amateurs at the moment. Viger leads the Pro-Ams. So these are the kind of strategies at play that need to be. I'm just trying to stay consistent, as we mentioned, and just try and stick with your competitors as best you can. A little bit of a lock-up, though, from Noble down the inside.
He's done a beautiful pass. And who's had the sniff on the inside in the pink there?
That's Jepson.
Oh, he didn't quite hold it. But it's not over. He looks like he might lose 2 spots out of that, Jepson.
Got Mr. Baxter.
He's overcommitted.
I tell you what, interesting story about Rob Baxter, actually. He's now got the moniker of Cold Trickle in the vets because he managed to run into the back of the safety car at Watkins Glen.
Nice.
Yeah. Luckily, Peter does not carry that moniker, but Rob does. So.
Yeah, well, I've done that. I've written off the safety car driving past it at such a pace that the net code went and destroyed the safety car.
So if we watch here, Peter Baxter just trying to chase down Adam Jepson at the moment. It's a tightly contested battle, and it's good to see as well this separation of classes, still battling it out hard amongst each other. I mean, we've seen it previously in the F3s and back when the amateurs and the pros were together on the Sunday night. But it's really good that we can now kind of see this as well throughout the Tuesday Supercars. We can see it on the Thursday GR86s as well. We're not going to see it on the Friday because they're two completely different car types for the different classes. Yeah. But it's good to see we're going to get a little bit more of this style of racing throughout the whole league. It's really, really great to see. It is.
It's going to be epic. And Sunday night, we have 32 pros. 32 pros. And the rest are 18 are the Pro-Ams. So it's going to be absolutely epic.
Mitchy Noble's run wide just quickly.
He has.
He's dropped some spots off the back of that. I reckon he's had a bit of a slide through that corner, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, he might have been pushing his tyres just a little bit too hard. Yeah. All he needs to do now is hang on the back of Baxter and wait for his pit stop.
He's got a ball with him here as he comes up through Hayshed and MG. Up through the top of the hill he comes. Oh, a bit wide for Baxter. Not the best run through the corner. Noble just trying to chase him down, hunt him down, and put that pressure on him. But you can see big lock-up from Baxter, though. He's trying to hold on to the back of Jepson at the moment.
Lost a lot of momentum out of there. Noble will catch him across the back here.
As they come through
There'll
this
be
corner.
Pressure into the big left-hander.
That's it, mate. That is so right. And it's good to see these guys trying to stay careful through that second to last corner. Very easy spot to lose the rear end, as Mitchy Noble gets a little bit of a wiggle there as he comes around the final corner. He's done well so far, but we just need to see how well he can do throughout the rest of this race as he's putting the pressure now by Craig Healy. Sorry, Craig Healy just coming up the inside. Hansen just behind. So now he's in a GMK Logistics sandwich.
Yes, he is.
We'll have to see.
He just needs to regain his...
Oh, there goes Healy.
Hansen. Is that Healy gone?
That's Healy.
Yeah. He just overcommitted too early.
And has to let his teammate Scotty Weston go through. Scotty already got some wall wounds on the front of his car as well, but Hansen now just trying to keep that pressure, trying to run with the GMK Logistics moniker and run the flag up and try and get past Mitchy Noble. Look at the run here through Siberia. Can he get it done round the outside? Noble's going to have the better run. Maybe hope for the switchback. Can't quite get it done as they're going to come up through Hayshed now, directly behind one another. But look at this, Shane Newens trying to get it done up the outside. Oh, not quite there. Some fantastic
this battle
racing.
Pack is putting up exciting racing.
It's so good. I mean, we haven't even looked at the front of the field in that long. It's that good to watch.
Yeah. Now a bit more stuff there for Mr. Noble. He is actually racing with the new Camus C5 set. And
apparently he's absolutely loving it.
Hot gossip is, and very, very true gossip is, that we, SRW, are now selling the Camus gear. So we will have it available on our store in the coming days.
It's very, very good to hear. So Mr. Noble, the first one to come into the lane as they trickle on round. Oh, look at this big pass down the inside for Crosby and Leslie. Oh, for Crosby and Cowie, sorry. Cowie is really struggling with that car at the moment. It's going to have to be pretty soon that he's going to have to come in. And you were nearly bang on of about 20 minutes should be the first pit stop period. We're at minute 17 and a half at the moment. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of these cars start to come in, if I can speak correctly, and just get those cars up on the jacks, put some fuel in, get some tyres.
You can only lose so much time, yeah. If you just keep losing that time, you just got to take the punt and get in there as quick as can.
That's right.
Without destroying your race.
And that's why it's important as well. You have the capability to try and figure out what your fuel strategy is going to be for your race, and come up with multiple strategies that you can play on in case something like this happens. You might have to come in a little bit earlier for a safety car, or if your car gets damaged. But at least then you have the ease of mind knowing, well, I can actually make it home if I run this fuel strategy from this point. As Whittaker and Clutterbuck both come into the lane. So Whittaker out of P2 comes in. Clutterbuck leading the amateurs at the moment. He was our pick to win this thing for the amateurs. And he's looking very strong at the moment as he comes in for his first stop.
Yeah, he's doing considerably well. I think he's put his practice in, which I would expect from him. It's good to see him back on track.
Phantom Ewan coming in as well, new to the series, new to iRacing as well. So good to see him having a crack out there in the SRW Supercars series on a Tuesday night here. And he comes in for his scheduled stop. So I'd say we're going to get most of these cars into the pits very, very shortly. A lot of them have done some stops already. About half the field actually have done their pit stops. So don't be surprised if we see the leader come in soon. But Burridge, he is not letting Viger run away at the moment. Viger just trying to save those tyres, save some fuel, try and extend the life of that car as much as possible to have any advantage that he can over his competitors up the front.
Yeah. I think we might have to do something about this purple colour on our timing board. That's disgusting.
That's blue.
Oh, that's got to go.
We'll make it a light blue so we know which ones are the ones that are getting lapped. Also, as well, just as a little tidbit, the red that's on here is actually the official Warren and Brown red. I thought that would be nice, and the IMSA one is the official blue. So it all matches the branding, which is what we want. As Viger, Burridge, Kennedy, Mole all come into the pits. What about Schultz? Does he follow them? He does indeed. So does Smith. So the front of the field all coming in.
Who's going to come out first? Is going to be any overtaking in the pits?
So Jepson stays out. He will now lead the race, but he does need to have a pit stop. Who's going to get the jump, though? Will it be Viger or will it be Burridge? We'll have to wait and see. Baxter also stays out, as well as Fitzpatrick as well. As we can see, there's Billy Mole in the pits. There is Fitzpatrick now. Crosby, Whitaker. Viger has jumped out in P1. Crosby passes him, though, to go into provisional P1, and Matty Whitaker has jumped the previous leader as well. So
nice. So there's a bit of an undercut there.
Yep.
Overcut.
So Whitaker's pit stop time was a 19.33. Viger's was a 19.8. So we actually gained half a second on him through that pit stop, although the lane travel was even closer. So he gained just enough time to get in there. Now Crosby's fuel strategy is questionable because he did come in on lap 3. So whether he can actually maintain this lead is another question. So I have to keep an eye on that one throughout the rest of this race.
Well, that wasn't a strategy. I think that was repairs.
It was, but I'm sure he would have chucked some fuel in it anyway.
Oh, 100%. 100%. The interesting thing's going to be now Baxter and Fitzpatrick are going to have to pit, obviously. Clutters, Martin Quash, Schultz, Smith, Taylor. Then we've got Newens and Noble. So we'll see how they all pan out once everyone's done their bit. Is everyone pitted now?
So the top 3 are yet to pit. Crosby, Martin and Quach, and Daly have pitted, but they pitted on lap 3 and 4. So I think they were involved.
Still a few of the AMs. Few of the AMs will need to pit.
So I think they were involved in that incident up at MG. But now the top 3 have come in. So the top 3 drivers into the pits. Crosby will now take back the lead, and everyone has now done a single pit stop in this race as Whitaker wants it down the inside at turn 1. Gets it done. Beautiful move from the fishy driver on the M1 racing machine there of Darren Crosby as we come up through turn 2. Could this be Whitaker's moment just to stretch the legs, build that gap as there's been it off for Brad Anderson, debutant into the series, and just missing it. Whitaker right there. Could be a call on unsafe rejoin if Whitaker wants to call that in, although there was no contact, of course, between them, but that was real close.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate. That's yeah. Well, I'll leave that to the boys. They call it in, they call it in. They don't.
Reese DeGoey in the chat, who I gave a bit of a shout out to earlier, saying go Schultz and go Cowie. So Schultz currently P10 and Cowie currently rolling around back in P23 after a drive-through penalty. But luckily for him, he has got a brand new car as he has a lock up through turn 2. So this
was not really good for the tyres.
That could give David Leslie the opportunity he needs through Stoner and Miller. May not be quite close enough though to have the run. What about Bush in behind? Is he close enough to get this done? I don't think so.
Not quite. Not quite.
Just still rolling on around. Whitaker, Crosby, Viger, Burridge, Kennedy. That's the top 5, all pro-ams as Crosby comes back into the pits. So this will now be a proper scheduled stop for him. Clutterbuck, Martin, Quach, Mole, Schmidt. That's the rest of the 10, but Schultz will get into the 10 once he passes Crosby in the pits.
Be good to see where Crosby comes out at the moment. Our pick for the AMS Clutters is on track for that. Crosby was my call. Your Vigor is still doing well. He's still sitting in second.
I'm telling you, mate. I'm telling you, he is an absolute weapon. He can just do it. He just sits there all day, just stays consistent, stays on the back of someone, and then he's patient. I say again, he is a silent assassin, but he's not so silent anymore after he's actually won some races. So, but he's just someone who will just continue to chip away throughout the whole race, and he'll stay there the whole race. Unless it gets taken out by someone, which he has had a bit of trouble with in the past, where he's been caught up in other people's incidents. But racing up the front here should not be a problem for him, and he could be on for a good performance here tonight.
Yes, well, that flag has been waving, and I'm dare to say he is putting up a great battle. He's only what is it? 8/10 off the back of Whittaker.
Yeah, something like that. 0.9
Yeah.
has just gotten to now. So
Burridge is just off him 5. Then we've got a bit of a gap there for Kennedy at about 4.2. And then our first Daniel Clutterbuck is sitting at, what have we got?
P5.
P5, but how many seconds is it?
13 seconds, 8
13
seconds
seconds.
off the car
Yeah.
ahead, but 13 off the leader. So a little bit further back, but it's fine. He's not battling those guys for an overall podium. He's battling it out for a win against Martin and Quatch at the moment in the amateur class. So off the back now of Whittaker's car as we come through one, you can see Viger and Burridge just trying to chase him down as best they can. Just try and keep that pressure on him, as I mentioned. Although as Viger has a bit of a lock up there through 2. I did mention though, Viger is someone who's got a good pressure gauge on him. Doesn't crack under pressure that often. So it's a very rare sight when you see him make a mistake like that.
Again, the timing tower is pretty close all the way through. You've got the boys from Taylor downwards. There's a battle pack of 4. Then we've got another battle pack of 5. Everyone is really staying in on each other. Noble's in the back of Healy again. So them two are having a bit of a tag. Van der Meel just got passed by Crosby at the back of the field. Crosby's making his way up through the path. So Crosby should be... His target is going to be get up the top 10 because he's looking at he'll be looking at the big picture, not the small picture. He knows he's not going to be able to win it from here.
Oh, there's been contact there between Fitzpatrick and Newens. Let's get this on the replay just quickly. It was down at Miller. So what's happened here? He's covered the inside. Fitzpatrick's gone to the outside. Big lock up from Newens, and there's nowhere to go for Fitzpatrick.
And he's gone off to avoid him.
Oh, that's a
He's gone off to avoid him. Now the question is, was there contact? The second question is, what the hell was he thinking, taking that much pace into that corner?
And plus, like, we're early into this race, you know, we're only just coming up on halfway through. It's okay to let someone go past you at this point and just continue fighting for a little bit longer, you know, put the pressure on them. In fact, it can actually do you a benefit if you put some pressure on them, because they can actually make a mistake, as now Newens is having to drop down the order significantly behind Crosby and Healy now. So he's now, you know, from defending that position, he's lost multiple positions off the back of that. Now he has gained 5 from his starting point, but, you know,
Did he hand that position back then?
I think he may have. Where is Mr. Hans? Oh, who was it? I think it was Healy. Healy is ahead of him now. So, I know Healy was already battling. It might have been
Brett
Hansen.
Taylor has just called one in.
Yeah, it wasn't Taylor that was with him. Oh no, you know what? Let's scroll up and find out who it was. It was Blake Fitzpatrick, who's still behind him at the moment. There he is, right there.
Yeah.
So he could. I mean, if he does give it back, then, or if he does give him the position, then may not get a penalty. But again, it's in race control's hand on what they want to do with this one.
Yep.
But see Cowie, he's just coming up onto the back of them as well. Interested to see how he goes here tonight. Whether I'll be able to give him some flack tomorrow, whether I'll be able to praise him. So,
Crosby's up to 14th. He's slowly moving his way up. Noble, who I've been keeping an eye on, is up to 17th because he's my teammate. There's Peter Baxter's putting in a consistent run out tonight. Dan Schultz is up a couple of places, but sitting in 8th, just behind Sean Smith. He's 7/10, so he's not really in a hunting position at the moment. He'll be just slowly trying to catch him. He's a very clever character, Mr. Schultz. But looks like the timing tower at one point was starting to split up, but it's not. It's starting to get back into all orange. We've got a pack there of Crosby to Weston, 6 seconds, Crosby will slowly catch that up, and then that back behind him, he's going to bring them in closer. So everyone behind him, like Healy and Noble, are going to be brought forward.
Yeah, as long as they kind of just stay, as long as they try and just stay clean and don't try and battle too hard, then they should be able to be dragged forward, even though it is now out to over a second. Remembering that the tow is about, I think, about a second and a half around Phillip Island. So as soon as that gets out to a second and a half, Crosby's just going to be gone, which it is already getting to. Comparisons here, Crosby's split 1 in vets, Healy is split 2, and he's kind of more on the edge of staying in split 2, where Crosby's staying in split 1. So there is a significant pace deficit between them.
Yeah, Crosby's already lost a second on him there, and once you lose the toe on this track, it's hard to catch back up if you ain't got the pace.
Exactly.
But the boys, all the boys behind them are all sitting there nicely tucked in and working away. Michael Quash has been unfortunate. He's down the very, very back now in 25th.
Yeah, he's just trying to stay, I guess just try and stay in the fight, stay consistent, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
His teammate is doing pretty well a bit further up the field, which is Daniel Clutterbuck.
So he's sitting in 5th at the moment. As we predicted, he's going to be a very strong AM. He's going to be totally honest, I can't... Daniel's pace, I think once he... by round 3, I wouldn't be surprised if he's a Pro-Am.
Yeah, I would not be surprised either. We can see Viger just starting to come up onto the back of Whittaker. Let's quickly go on board with him here. We'll check out how he goes over half a lap, and we'll come back to you in just a moment. Right there just to sit with Mr. Viger, who is consistently sitting half a second off the back of Matty Whittaker at the moment. This is the battle for P1. Burridge in behind them. He's not letting these guys run away with it just yet. Stephen Kennedy P4, he's a little bit further back, and then Mr. Clutterbuck leading the amateurs at the moment, but P5 overall. Been an incredible run for him so far, Stephen.
Very, very good run for him, and I'm going to mention it before the viewers mention it. Yes, Hamish has a man crush on Rick Vigor.
No, I don't. I don't. I just have a soft spot for him because I commentated his races for so long, and he finally made split 1. That's why.
Mate, I'm glad you said you got a soft spot for him and not a hard spot.
Exactly, mate. But don't worry, I've got a couple of hard spots too.
Well, this race is panning out exactly how we thought it would. A lot of close times all the way through the field. There isn't much in it from the top to the bottom, and we're at the 33-minute mark. About another 5 minutes or so till we start seeing the next lot of around the 40-minute mark. We'll probably start seeing the next round of pit stops like we did before around the 20 mark.
And they
so
should
it's
be
going
the
to
final
be very
pit stops for the race as well.
Yes, correct. So some of these boys might be doing a little bit of fuel saving so they can get a little bit less fuel in that last pit stop, and then they'll just hammer it all the way home. So it's going to be there's a little bit of strategy at play here now as well.
I'll tell you what would be absolutely fantastic right now would be a safety car. Just to shake it up. And right now as well, because it will force people to make
a lot of strategies.
It would, because it would force people to make the choice, do I come in now, save a bit of fuel, or do I wait? And it will also condense the field back up, so then we're going to have some pressure on a lot of people, because all of a sudden it's not going to be 7 seconds or 8 seconds separating people. It's going to be like, under a second for every single driver, so it'll really spice it up for us.
Yeah, it will definitely. It'll throw a lot of people, like someone like Crosby. You'll be absolutely stuffed. You'll look at people like also Clutters and Schultz and that who are going to be key pit stops now coming up on their fuel saving. It'll just throw a spanner completely in the works. And then again, it'll be do you come in and sacrifice track position and come in early for that pit stop, or it's going to be key. It's going to be some epic fighting here. If safety car happens, it's going to be crazy. So Mr. Noble is in first.
And I tell you what, it might have been a bit of a blunder for him to come in earlier, because he came in before the 20 minutes. That is actually now kind of, he's going to have to do a third stop to get home, or fuel save absolutely massively, because if you're getting 20 minutes of your fuel strategy, but there's going to be 5 minutes to go by the time he needs to come in again. So if there's a safety car, he's going to have to jump in and just get that extra fuel in the car, because there's no way he can make it home from here. As you mentioned, critical sort of time period is that 40-minute mark to get home. So we really just need to keep an eye on that, as Viger and Burridge have now gotten right up onto the back of Whittaker. So his car may be kind of, he came in lap 12. We're currently on lap 24, so this could be the end of his stint, and then he might have to come in again to do a third stop. So we actually may be looking at here a 3 stop for every single car, because a lot of people came in lap 13, lap 14, lap 12.
Yeah.
A couple of people came in a bit later. So
I think he might be actually unintentionally. I think he might be in a good position. He might undercut a few people. Yeah.
He might. Yeah, because he did come in.
Crosby's gone up to 13th. He's now. He was 6 seconds behind Scotty Weston when he went back on grid from that all those passing he did, and now he's 0.77 on the back of Scotty Weston. So he's making his march, and he's used his second sector of the pit strategy really well.
He has, but he is out of sync, so he does need to do another pit stop to get home in this race. Although so does everybody else. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. He did come in lap 15 for what is almost his first scheduled pit stop, but it was set to be second stop of the race, as Matty Whittaker is coming into the lane out of the lead of this race. So interesting that Viger didn't actually follow him in to try and cut off that undercut.
You always do the opposite, yeah?
That's true.
I always try to do the opposite of someone I'm battling with, and try to get as much pace out of that car. It's a light car at the moment. I think he actually missed the pit then. He had to back up a little bit.
Yeah, so that could have done him.
Oh, he did. He overshot the pit.
So Clutterbuck as well out of the lead of the amateurs, and Taylor into off this lap. So definitely going to be having another pit stop for these drivers. It'll only be a little splash to get to the end.
Crosby coming out of that corner.
No, he's just gained absolutely massively here on Weston. Weston's smart. He'll probably just let him go. He knows he has the pace over him. He'll just try and hook him behind and just try and stick it in for as long as possible, just to keep that gap out ahead of the likes of Healy, Cowan, and Fitzpatrick, who he's currently in that battle with for position. Whittaker has come out in behind Scotty, so here he is. Could be the provisional leader. We need to wait and see when Viger comes in and what sort of pit stop he does. Whittaker's pit lane travel time is a 48.22. Currently, Viger is leading by 14 seconds. So this is going to be pretty close.
That overrun of his pit spot might have cost him hotly there.
Yeah, that may have. So it's going to be interesting.
Is he in yet? No, Vic's still out on track.
Yep.
Where is he?
He's coming around the final corner, so he is still staying out for a little bit longer.
Oh, he's staying out for another one.
Yeah.
Jeez.
for a bit of an overcut here. The current lap is lap 26, so he should be coming in this lap, I would say.
Kennedy's having a very solid race.
He is. Steven's doing incredibly well out of P3 at the moment. We want to say provisional P4 because we need to wait and see what happens with Matty as he has to try and come back through the field while everyone comes in. Sean Smith into the pits now as well for his second scheduled pit stop of the race. As Matty Hansen comes past him around the final corner. And he now makes his way up.
He's in the 9th.
He is. He's doing well. But he does need that pit stop, remember. So he's going to have to, he'll be staying out a little bit longer just to try and build as much of a gap as he can with that pace advantage that he has over the majority of the field. So it'll be interesting to see
Ewan in, Healy in, Smith in.
I know Healy stayed out.
Healy stayed out.
He's in the Cowan and Fitzpatrick still. Intense battle right now for P12 with these guys, although we would expect them to probably be around about P15, maybe P16 at the end of this battle when they come into the pits. Dodsy, you could be exactly right, mate. Viger is an absolute machine at fuel saving, and this could be an absolute masterclass in fuel saving right now. He is so good at spreading out his stints as he does come into the pits this time by. So
all right, let's see where Matty is.
As he comes in, that's where Matty is. He's coming around the second, up through Siberia. So it's a fair whack of a gap. It was about 40 seconds when Viger came in. So here is...
Already's followed him in. Kennedy's followed in as well.
Yep. So this is probably
it's going to be pivotal here.
It is. This is probably the limit of how far they could have gone for this point. Actually, Rick may not even need to pit again because he's come in lap 26 and they've just ticked over to 40 minutes in this race. So if he's fuel saving, he's got that little bit extra, he could be good here. So Whittaker's coming around the final corner now. Where's Rick? Rick is still parked up. Whittaker comes through. Viger is coming out of the pits. So how close will this be? There he is there as he's come through, and he is into the lead once again. Provisional lead now for Matty Whittaker. And look at the gap over Viger that he gained off the back of that stint.
He did really well there, man. He had the pedal down in the middle like crazy.
So it turns out that little blunder, that little blunder there in the pit lane did not actually do him an injustice. He managed to do a 1 second faster pit stop than what Viger did. But Viger's lane travel was 2 seconds faster. So that shows that it was only 2 seconds that he actually lost off that little blunder in the lane. But the fact that he had fresher tyres, was able to push a bit more, wasn't really in any traffic, that gave him an advantage coming around, and the undercut worked out well for him.
Yeah, definitely. That was a great bit of great bit of driving. Crosby's got himself in the second position at the moment.
He has. Well, he does need a pit again, so not going to be a perfect fixture for himself, but doing quite well. Adam Jepson up to P1, although we would expect him to come in fairly soon. He came in lap 14 for his first stop, so it would either be this lap or the next that he comes in, and it is going to be this lap. So the question is
He's
now...
the new fellow at SRW.
The question is now, though, Stephen, can he make it home on fuel from this point?
Well, this is going to be a key. How hard you're going to push, how hard you're going to drive. See someone like Kennedy who's got no cars to sit it and tow behind.
Also comes
yeah. Sorry, I just had McAvoy in my ear. There was an incident and it was called no further action.
Right down to the bottom of the screen, which it should have been. So got that back up so we can catch anything else that does happen. So Baxter, Jepson, Fitzpatrick, Daly, Martin all into the lane now. We expect Crosby to come in fairly soon, but the question is, will this now work out well for Adam Jepson? Because we've got 17 minutes to go in this session and he's only done 2 pit stops, and he's kind of lined them up to perfection where this could actually be a bit of a run here if he can save the fuel and save the time in the pits by not actually having to do that next stop. So it could be an interesting narrative going forward in this race. It could be one that we have to keep a close eye on.
100%. Some of those guys that pitted that little bit earlier before the 40-minute mark are going to be touch and go. The boys after it are going to have one only. So Crosby needs to stretch it out as much as he can. Oh, look at this. He's taking a bit of extra curb. Oh, I'm glad he kept his nose out of that. That could have got real messy real quick.
Godsy, you are 100% right, mate. This is going to get absolutely juicy as Crosby comes into the lane for his final stop in this race. So this is also now interesting because Crosby also will not need another stop because he's come in with 16 minutes to go. So
yeah, so there's going to be a few guys that'll be in front of him that will need a pit again. But also Crosby has done a lot of work getting himself back in the top 10. Where's he going to come out? I reckon he's going to come out somewhere around 7th.
Very well be. What's interesting is actually that early incident that he had, which then brought him in on lap 3, could actually play to his advantage now because he's already done that little splash and dash just to get him that little bit of extra fuel to get to the end. So this could be a very interesting prospect for him to finish where he is, because that could actually give him an advantage over the rest of the field. It comes out P9 as Hansen comes down past him here at full pace, so he's just going to miss out. Can he cover it though on Taylor just in behind? He can indeed. So the question now is P1 and P2 Adam Jepson and Darren Crosby, or is it still going to be Matty Whitaker and Rick Viger, or could a Burridge or Kennedy sneak up as well?
Oh, look, I don't think those two boys are going to need to pit again, Viger and Whitaker. I think neither will Kennedy. Barrage, maybe. I reckon the best Crosby's going to be able to do is 5th, but he's going to have to pass Quashi and Clutterbuck. Both. Has Clutter's done his second pit yet?
He has, but Quash has not.
Quash hasn't, and Mole hasn't, and Smith hasn't.
Mole has. He came in lap 26.
Yeah.
Smith came in lap 25. So the only one ahead of him who's not done a proper second stop is Quash. So
but not Moles and Smith will have to pit again. If they've come in at that late.
They came in lap 26 and lap 25.
Yeah, so
they came in at the same time as Viger, pretty much. So if they need to pit, Viger needs to pit, unless he can save his fuel, which I have seen from him in the past. But it's really going to shake things up at the moment.
Very, very interesting.
It is incredibly juicy right now. It's all up in the air. We've got 15 minutes to go, sneaking up on 16 minutes to go in this race here tonight. The pressure is building for Matty Whitaker from Rick Viger and behind. Clutterbuck's got a clear run to the end. He's got no one behind him in that amateur class to challenge for first place at the moment. But this is the talk of the town. Can Viger, Whitaker, Burridge and Kennedy make it to the end on their fuel? Or will Darren Crosby somehow master his way into a victory after a horrid start in this race and getting into some horrid incidents early on?
Well, round 1, we have a choice of a drop round, so this maybe will be his one. He's going to be in damage control, finish as high as you can, and hopefully you don't have a worse race during the season.
I don't think Crosby takes this as a drop round. I think the top 10 is good enough. I mean, if he was down below 20th, I'd say, probably take the drop round. But I wouldn't do it now because...
We've got plenty of time to choose it.
Exactly. And, is the final round available to be dropped as well, or is final round locked in?
No, between 1 and 8.
Okay, all right. So
you can drop around between 1 and 8.
So, he just has to kind of be consistent. Top 10 finish is a good smack of points.
Close. Viger is getting through the back there now. He's really getting some pace on him.
As Craig comes into the pit, so that will now promote a couple of drivers up one spot. As we see here, Viger wants it around the outside. Not quite close enough at the moment. Whitaker could be struggling from the pressure right now. Just needs to try and stay as clean and consistent as possible here against probably an incredibly consistent driver. So this is going to be a real match of consistency between these guys. Whitaker, champion in season 4. Viger, well, silent assassin, Mr. Consistent, whatever you want to call him. So this could be our championship battle throughout the season. I mean, Crosby expected to be up there as well. So this could create a very interesting aspect. As Crosby's gone off the track.
Oh no!
Crosby has gone off the track. So what's happened here? He's gone for the move around Smith, down in towards Miller.
Smith called it in.
Oh, and Smith's run into the back of him.
Yeah, he's tagged him.
So that could
Crosby got the overlap done, and Smith couldn't back out in time.
That could be day done for him there. He has come out P11, so he hasn't really lost out too much. But what he has lost out to is Adam Jepson, who we will question on if he can actually get into the lead of this race. But Exactly right, Doddsy. Three-way battle for the lead. Whitaker, Viger, Burridge just lurking in the background right now. He's got the popcorn out. He's got the front row seat to the best battle in town right now for the P1 and 2 position of this race.
Kennedy's just sitting back and he's just playing, calculating long game. He's happy with 4th. I think it does him well for the season.
Bit of a wiggle there into the entry to the corner from Burridge. You can see the car movement off it there.
He rocked back up then, I think.
I think maybe it could have been a bit of a compression and a save, quite possibly.
Yeah.
But he's pushing hard to get back up onto the back of these guys. So they're going to have to fight hard here as they come up through Hayshed.
See, when you're coming up between two guys like this, you look at it. Okay, it's Whitaker and Vigor. You know, your gut tells you, look, they're not gonna take each other out. So you need to catch up to them. So if one does make a mistake and it runs wide or something like that, but they're not going to take each other out. Sometimes you see other guys that you know in front and you think, oh yeah, these two guys, the way they drive, one of them going to take each other out. So you sort of plan ahead a bit and how much pressure you're going to put on in the game.
So Mitchie Noble's locked up here.
Oh, Mitchie Noble's missed his break point there.
He's come
Still
off.
learning, Mitch, still learning. First time in the V8, he's done really well, mate. He drove really great in the first stint. I think he's, like you said, his pit strategy might not have had the car filled up all the way, so I'm not sure what the issue was there.
I've said that he
we'll have a chip with him tomorrow.
So must have been he must have come at the end of the lap maybe just to get some fresh rubber on the car and try and just get it to the end. He has struggled a little bit here tonight. He's only down one spot off where he started the race. But,
yeah, but he was up in 10th at one place.
He was. So
yeah, before the first pit strategy.
But these are all the learning curves of the not only the supercar, but also not necessarily endurance, but longer races. As we've got Vigor,
Whitaker went really wide, then Vigor nearly took advantage of it.
He did, and this is now just starting to intensify a little bit.
Real
10
close.
minutes to the end, and it is a battle for 1, 2, 3, and it's going to go all the way to the end, barring any incidents that happen. Whitaker, Viger, Burridge, that's the top 3. That's the battle for the lead of this race and the battle for the win, and it will go down to the line, I would suspect. You see Viger just having to correct the car through the corner. Bit of a slide, though, from Whitaker off the exit. Good save from him. And the pressure is on. Pressure is on right now.
Shane Nesbitt-Smith has got himself a drive-through penalty for that contact with Crosby.
Yeah.
He'll be serving that shortly.
To be honest, I'm not really surprised by that one, unfortunately.
No.
For
Look,
Sean,
I feel for him because it's hard as an amateur driver. The ways these boys can pull up a car, it's really hard. Like if you're still learning in an amateur to pull up a car as fast as these pro-ams do sometimes, it's not as easy. So I'm not surprised it happened.
That is exactly right, man. And I tell you what, Crosby has managed to get his way back up to P9, so this guy is just an absolute weapon to come off the back of that and still make it. He's lucky not to have the car damaged off the back of that incident as well, so he's done well to bring us back up into the top 10. Could be race over and a chance for a top 5, but he'll just be trying to get this thing home right now and try and pick up any positions that he possibly could before the checkered flag flies here tonight.
Araj has got himself in a position now where he is 7/10 to 4/10. He's drifting in and out that area, and in a position, if any of these boys make some mistakes, runs wide, or misses a brake marker, Burridge is there to take advantage of it.
Yeah, man, he's going to be just push it on hard. And as I said, he's got the best front row seat in the house at the moment. And he'll, as we mentioned, he'll just be trying to stay in this fight and stay behind these guys and not let them run away with it, because he wants to be in that battle to the end, and he wants to be in the best position possible if these guys make a mistake. And kind of come past.
Whitaker's in the pit. Whitaker's in the pit.
So
Whitaker's in the pit.
This now becomes incredibly interesting. So Whitaker cannot make it to the end. That is a win gone, I would say, for him.
Not just yet. We don't know if Vigor's got enough to get to the end either. Vigor only did 2 laps more than
I would say
than Whitaker.
The person we need to keep an eye on now, as we mentioned before, is Adam Jepson, who came in at the 40-minute mark, came in on lap 27. What lap are we currently on? Let's have a look. We're currently on lap 35. He's only done 8 laps on this stint. So, from my calculations, he should be able to get home from here.
Yeah. leave the laps up, mate, so we can just check to see how we're going at the very end there. See, see who's getting those pits. Yeah, just so for the pit strategies, because we've got Jepson here. Look, is Jepson going to be able to make it all the way to the end or not? You know, we don't know either.
That is the question. So Viger now leads this race to Burridge, to Kennedy, but the question is, do they have the fuel to get home? Can they do it?
Well, was Kennedy fuel saving? And he was fuel saving because he was keeping up with them with the second stint. That third stint, he's 14 seconds back. How much was Kennedy fuel saving to get himself back into a podium position?
That's right, mate. So could be incredibly close here. Weeks to go in, Doddsy in the chat. Shark's gone from the hunted to the hunted, and then came in and the shark has been eaten. And to go, Kevin, you might be on the money, Harry. So this here is going to be very interesting. Although Matty Whitaker has come out of the pits ahead of Adam Jepson. So this could change the whole game of this. So Whitaker could still be on here for a positive position. It just depends if Viger, Burridge and Kennedy have saved fuel throughout this race to get to the end. And that is the question we need to ask.
We suspect Crosby doesn't need to fill again, does he?
Nah, no.
And he's 4 spots behind Whitaker.
Yeah, Crosby should be right. So
yeah, he's 4 spots behind Whitaker, so he might even get himself up into the top 5 or 6 there, depending on what's going on in front.
Quite possibly. It also depends on if any of the other cars need to come in. You know, Hansen ahead of him. Does he need a pit? Does Will Gold need a pit? Does Clutterbuck need a pit? You know, it's going to get spicy across these final 5 minutes. We can't get a safety car now in this race that we are 5 minutes to the end. So now it's straight up strategy play. And this is what I love about Phillip Island. It brings the strategy play to the front of the, front of the broadcast. Strategy is massive around here. And if you can get it right, or if you can get lucky, then it pays off for you $1 million, because it changes the whole landscape of a race when someone's strategy goes to perfection and someone's screws up. So Viger will now come round. He will start lap 37 with 4.5 minutes to go.
Is he going to have to splash the next lap?
He came in lap 26 and he's been doing 13 lap stints. So we're lap 37. We would expect him to come in lap 39. The lap times they're doing are 1:30s, where it was about 3.25 minutes to go at the end of this race. He might be all right. He might be okay.
Might be. He might splutter across the line.
He might, because this is going to come down to the absolute wire.
Well, Clutters has just gone in for the pit. We suspected he'd have to go in again.
Yep.
That's put Whitaker back in the 5th. Mole, we know, will pit again. I'm not sure about Kennedy, because I reckon he was fuel saving like crazy. So he's got himself in the 4th. Let's see what happens with these boys now.
Kennedy's coming up towards Miller, Stoner and Miller. Whitaker's coming through turn 2, so that's the gap for P3 at the moment now. Kennedy, it would have been smart for him to fuel save, because he was not really chasing down Burridge, Viger and Whitaker at the time. So if he's done that, his strategy's actually managed to chase them down and get himself onto the podium. So this could be an absolute wild end. They'll come down through MG. They will cross the line with roughly 2.5 minutes to go. This is going to be very interesting come the end of this race.
Clutterbuck's gone in the pits and come out of the pits and still held first place in front of Dan Schultz by about 2.5 seconds. So he's done really well with his strategy, Clutters.
That just shows you how much pace he had and how his strategy worked out well for him here tonight.
Did really well.
He's done incredibly well so
far. At the moment, looking at Viger, Burge and Kennedy for the Pro-Ams, and in the AMs, looking at Clutterbuck, Schultz and Taylor.
So Viger, Burridge, Kennedy, as we mentioned, top 3 of this race. Will either of them need to pit and Whitaker come into the lead, or could we be seeing our final podium of the night? It's lap 38, 57.5 minutes gone for this 1 hour race. I would expect we're going to get an extra lap after that hour mark hits. Yep. So Viger might actually be a bit worse for wear here, because he's going to have to try and get an extra lap out of this car unless he has fuel saved.
He slowed down. Get on board, man. Get on board. How badly is his fuel saving right now?
In fact, he's actually gapping Burridge. So Burridge is actually trying to fuel save. Watch him here. He's full red line up the hill. A little bit of a lift as we come up. I don't know if he's fuel saving or not. saved earlier on.
We'll see here. Short shift.
Which you want through that
Short shift again.
But does he go? Well, he goes full lights. He's full lights all the way.
Yep.
Whitaker is lapping at a rapid pace right now.
Yep, he's full lights.
Yeah, so
The only other way you're going to tell now is when he comes to this next corner if he's going to back off the throttle. And how much roll is he going to do?
That's full roll for turn one.
And still rolling. That's where he's doing all his fuel saving. See that?
Yeah. So that was
He's
clutch in
put a
through one.
shitload through there.
So Whitaker just trying to chase him down at the moment. It's now 2 seconds closer. 26 seconds is the gap, or just under 27 seconds. So he's catching an absolute rate of knots to the back of Rick Viger. Burridge fuel saving like anyone's mother. The gap's now down to 2 seconds. So he's kind of given up on trying to put the pressure on Viger. He just wants to make it to the end. But I mean, surely they know we're going to get an extra lap after that hour mark's finished. There'll be 1.5 laps to go in this race. We're going to get 40 laps out of this one. This is an incredibly enticing end to this one. Stephen Martin has had an incident. What has happened to him here? So he's come round up through MG, or there's been a car that's disappeared but then come back. He doesn't know where to brake and it's just caught him out. Big lock-up.
Yep, Whitaker's called something in. I'm not sure what he's called in. And there was someone else that called in. I'd say it might have been that incident we just saw there. But I reckon this is it, mate. This is it. Vigor, Barrage, and Kennedy. I think Kennedy was playing the smart thing and fuel saving a hell of a lot, so he'd have to go for that last pit and making sure he didn't have to.
He's gotten the checkered flag.
Yep,
no
that's it,
flag,
ladies and gentlemen.
Flygard
Rick
takes
Vigor.
out victory.
Yeah, Rick Vigor in first place, Chris Barrage in second, and Stephen Kennedy in third as we cross the line. And following in fourth is Matty Whitaker, Billy Mole, Jepson, and the rest has disappeared.
Yeah,
Crosby has come across in fifth.
I'm going to reload it. Give me a second.
It's all
it
good.
Lasted the whole race, and then as soon as it ends, it's gone.
And Crosby finished in fifth, so he's done real well. So we're looking at now Clutters taking it to Dan Schultz for the AMS, and he has done so, followed by Peter Baxter in third. So well done to those boys as well. What a killer race. These guys have done really, really well. To see them fight all the way through, one by one, and in behind each other like that, it's just been epic. It's been crazy. The time splits all the way through like we predicted. There was, a couple of tens here and there all the way across the field, and battle packs from the front and the back were sensational. But at the end, like we discussed at the very beginning, the fuel strategy was going to be key to what was going to happen.
Yeah, many apologies for that little technical difficulty there. Goes through the whole race and then decides to have a little bit of a hiss at the end.
All good. So we'll just repeat that again. So Rick Vigor is the round one of the Warren Brown V8 Supercars Pro-Am AM Series champion, followed by Chris Barrage and Stephen Kennedy in the AMs. Daniel Clutterbuck, followed by Peter Baxter, who got Schultz at the end there, obviously through pits, I'd say, and Daniel Schultz in third place. So well done to those boys, and congratulations to the lads for a first round at Phillip Island with no safety cars for season 1 of 2024.
I know, and I tell you what, I come to Phillip Island and I think it's surprising that we've had no safety cars, but then I also think, well, you're not actually always guaranteed a safety car at Phillip Island, but I don't know, maybe I just always expect it to happen somehow. So it's actually classifying Adam Jepson as P2 on this thing, but I think it might be because some people towed back to pits and stuff like that. So we will get our provisional race results onto the screen for everyone to see, and then we'll get our podium finishers in. We'll get our top 3 from this race and our winner from the amateurs as well. And hey, Stephen, I'm 2 for 2. Viger and Clutterbuck, P1 for both classes.
I got the AMs, but not the Pro AMs. But where did Crosby, my pick, finish? I think he finished in 5th.
We'll bring that up on screen right now. We'll bring up our amateurs first, so then we can see how they've all come home here. There we go. So Daniel Clutterbuck takes out victory for the amateurs here tonight. Daniel Schultz will come home in P2. Peter Baxter comes home P3. Blake Fitzpatrick will then come home P4, just ahead of Michael Quash in P5. Stephen Martin in P6 in behind. Then David Leslie in P7. Brady Taylor. On debut comes home P8. Sean Vanderbilt in P9. Sean Smith P10. Shane Newlands P11. Mitch Noble P12. And then Brad Anderson in P13. Let's check out our Pro-Ams now for our classifications. So provisional results here for the Pro-Ams. Rick Viger comes home in P1 for Angry Birds Racing with Chris Barrage in P2 for M1 Racing. His teammate will then come home just in behind, Stephen Kennedy in P3. Matty Whitaker then comes home in P4 after a little bit of a fuel blunder from him there. He comes back for fishing in P4. Then P5, Adam Jepson comes home. Darren Crosby got all the way up to P6. So that was a very, very good recovery drive for him here tonight. And then Marty Hansen and Scott Weston, both the EWR boys, together in P7 and P8. Andrew Cowan, P9. Good performance from him. Good recovery from him. Billy Mole in P10. Jeremy Bush comes home P11. Craig Healy, the other EWR car out there, P12. Travis Daly, and then Pete Ziedler in P13 and 14. And they are the provisional results here tonight. We'll bring up our overall results. We won't read through them, but just so we know where the classifications are for the overall position finishes.
Well, that was a mouthful, mate. I'm glad you did that because I caught up a bit of fluid.
That's fine.
Let's start dragging these boys in, and let's have a bit of a chin wag. Who we got third? Third place was Steve Kennedy. So let's start with Steve.
Yep. If you want to drag them in, and I'll find them in the race, so then I can focus on
Mr. Kennedy. How are you, buddy?
Good, Hamish. How yourself?
Oh, that was Stephen, mate, that just asked you that question, buddy.
I'm great, aren't I? I'm just watching the lights flash.
It's all good, mate. It's all good. How are you, Mr. Kennedy?
Good, Steve. Very
Did
good.
you? How'd you enjoy that?
Yep. Fuel saving race. It was always going to be the way if there's no safety cars. So yeah, it was a bit slow near the end.
I kind of picked it in your third stint. I just saw you dropping back on times, and I was like, at one point you were at 12 seconds back, and I'm like, yeah, you're faster than that. You're fuel saving like a crazy man.
I was trying,
and it worked, yeah.
Never been so happy to see a white flag come out.
Where were you getting most of your reserves from, mate? Was it the big sweeping left-hander where you were getting a lot of reserves out of? Or?
Oh, look, I was short shifting. I was backing right off, coming down the straight early. And basically short shifting and sort of coasting into the corners.
Did you have enough to keep going another lap when the other boys went in for the final sector, or did you just think?
By the time I got to the end of the race, I had 2 litres left to come round to get back to the start-finish line. So I had nothing. I wouldn't have been able to do an extra lap even anywhere. So I was running the tank right down because we sort of worked it out just before we started. I said, we got to at least put 90 litres in to finish the race, and we've only 44 litres into the tank. It's a bit hard. So
yes, this is true.
Always going to be a couple litres short.
Very lucky then that you didn't actually have to do the extra lap when the timer expired. We come around the final corner, we're like, they're going to get the white flag, they're going to get the checker flag. We saw the checker and we're like, oh, they're right then. If they got the white, then we're going to be like, oh, this is going to be a bit hairy. But very lucky for you, and very lucky for the other 2 boys as well. Congratulations goes to you and even to Chris, and congratulations to Darren. I know he had a bit of a disappointing start to this race, but it was a phenomenal recovery from him. So, I mean, personally for me, I called it a win for M1. So
he was Daz was actually in the box seat there until he sort of about 5 laps to go when he got taken out. I thought because of his early pit stop, he could sort of go flat out all the way home. So he would have been in a good position, I reckon, at the end of the race if he didn't.
He would have. I reckon he would have been not too far off Whitaker. If not, it would have been interesting. I reckon they would have come out around the same sort of time.
Yeah.
Because the way he was driving, and it was a bit unfortunate. He got tagged in the rear end for that second one. And it was just one of those things when you pass an amateur, sometimes you just got to not brake as aggressively, and it was just one of those things. The guy just couldn't hold the brake, went bang straight in the back of him. Yeah. Well, look, mate, excellent, great performance by M1 Racing. 3 of you in the top 6. Darren finished 6. Yeah, he finished 6. Well done, mate.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to shout out to whoever supports you guys and keeps you on track?
Yeah. Well, it's M1 Race, M1 Used Cars at Starks Creek up at Brisbane there. Daz is the owner of that, so yep, he's there as sole sponsor, and that's it. And thanks to you and who is it? I've forgotten his name. Who's the other guy?
Hamish
Who
Munro.
runs the business?
Hamish Munro.
The commentator, Hamish Munro. Yes, Mr. Munro.
Yeah, so,
I'm just glad he didn't ask you what kind of things you like on your pizza, because that one drives me insane.
That's only because Jack wasn't in the chat tonight. That's why.
yeah, and thanks for Tyson giving up his time for race control too. So
The boys have done an epic job. Look, mate, congratulations. I'm going to boot you because we've got a few more people to go. It's first round. I know you're Mr. Consistency, so I can see you'll be fighting for the title by the end of the season.
Oh, hope so. Just got to
all right, mate.
keep out of
Good
trouble.
luck.
That's all.
Are you racing Sunday?
No, I'm not.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got 2 days. I'm racing now, so just to fit that third day is going to be pretty hard. So
Yeah. Well, you got to get the practice in on top of that as well. I know you guys do a fair bit of practice.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, mate. Take care of yourself. I'll get Mr. How does he pronounce his surname? Baruch? Asking the wrong person.
Chris Barrage. Yeah, Barrage. That'll do.
All right,
I
buddy.
should set
Take
you up
care.
at time, but yeah.
Congratulations, bud. All righty, let's get Mr. Chris Baruch in. How are you, buddy?
Hey there, very good, very good.
Chris, how do we pronounce your name correctly? Is Baruch, Barrage?
It's Burridge.
Oh, I told you,
Burridge.
Stephen. I told you it was Burridge.
Yeah.
Burridge.
I'm totally used to the other one, so that's fine.
Burridge. I thought, seriously, so Burridge is more English, Baruch is more French.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's all right.
Yeah.
Congratulations, mate. It's a good strategy tonight, and position yourself exactly where you needed to be.
Yeah, I just hung on to those top couple. Didn't want to use too much fuel because it was getting a bit scary at the end there. But yeah, no, it all went pretty good.
Well, at one point you were top three. It looked like you were just sitting there waiting for one of them to make a mistake and take that second place.
Yeah, for sure.
And in first place.
Yeah.
It could have gone anyway.
Yeah. Oh, they all did really good. It was a shame about Matt sort of having a pit late there. I was sort of expecting that because, he'd pitted early a couple of times, and we were like, "It's not going to make it." I don't think.
Well, we weren't sure if you guys were going to make it either at that point. It was like, it's got to be close. It's got to be real close. How many litres did you have left?
Yeah, well, I had 1.4 litres at the
1.4. So Steve had 2. You had 1.4.
Yeah.
I reckon Rick Vigor, when we talk to him, he'll have probably about 1 left, maybe.
Yep. Yeah.
That was close.
It was awesome to see the white flag come out. Yeah.
I've never spoken to so many guys who were just hanging for the white flag.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, how did you enjoy the first round, mate?
Fantastic. Yeah, really happy. The last race last season, I was up there and I crashed out. Like I had a really good lead, crashed out. So it's good to actually finish a race. So,
finish it nice and clean. Well, strategy worked well, mate. You sat where you had to. You made your moves when you had to. So it was really, really well done, mate. Congratulations on the podium. For the first round, 2 M1 boys on one podium. It's spectacular.
Yeah. It's a shame about Dazza. He was right there. He would have been up here.
He was at the rough end of the race, racing gods tonight with 2 off tracks. So it was one of those things. But you know what? It's a long season, mate.
Yeah,
there's another 8 rounds to go and some spectacular racing to be had.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right, dude. Congratulations, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, I'll be there. Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
Right, catch up.
All right, Stephen, let's bring Mr. Viger in. One of my favourite drivers to watch, of course.
Mr. Rick Vigor. I just have to tell you, Rick, is it Viger or Vigor?
Viger, guys.
Viger. All right. I'll change my stance on that one as well. I think I'll start talking to you because it's going to be too evident that Hamish has got a man crush on you.
I've got questions.
I don't want to embarrass him any further.
I haven't spoken to Rick in like 7 weeks since he went up to split one of vets. I've been hanging for a convo with Rick.
Go on, Hamish. Ask him a few questions, but don't make the man blush, please.
Oh my God! So, Rick, we saw another piece of evidence tonight of why you are one of the most consistent drivers in any supercars field that you compete in. Obviously, the last time that we spoke together, it was when you were getting your promotion up to split one of vets. You've been doing pretty well this season, split one of vets, of course. You come into SRW this season for the Tuesday night supercars. what was your thought process for tonight's race? Was it kind of just, do that consistent fuel save as much as possible, be that little silent assassin that we know you to be, or was it kind of all out attack and then kind of figure it out halfway through?
It was just all out attack. Go for it. Yeah, this is one of my favourite tracks. Generally go a little bit better than the norm here. So, yeah, just went for it. I was expecting to see Mr. Crosby up there pushing me, but he didn't have much luck. So that was a bit disappointing. But the other guys pushed it pretty hard. I wasn't quite sure whether Matt was going to make it. I didn't think he was going to make it, but the longer he went, I kept thinking, oh, maybe he will, maybe he will. And I had a spotter for the last half of the race. He's saying, come on, send it. And I think, oh, no, I'm not going to. If I can't do it clean, I won't do it. But, yeah, it was great fun. Chris pushed me hard all the way as well. So,
Rick, just for the viewers, how much practice does it take? How many hours do you put in a week?
Well, I've did 0 practice here this week.
Track, yep.
Yeah, because it's one of my favourite tracks. I've done lots of tracks, but I try and do. Well, I do vets Thursday night, and then I try and get on and practice Sunday night, and then a little bit each the rest of the week. So probably an hour, 2 hours, 5 nights a week, 4 nights a week.
Okay, so you're getting about 5 hours a week at least.
Yeah. At least,
So for the people that are out there watching, it just doesn't happen overnight.
No,
you've got to put the sweat in. You've got to put the practice in.
Seat time is very important, and racing. I find racing. So I did the officials Sunday night and Monday night. I find racing just better practice than just doing hot lap after hot lap.
That gets boring.
Yeah, and you're pushing yourself in a race, and you're catching the car and not just letting it crash. And there's consequences of making mistakes. So you're putting yourself under pressure, I think.
Yeah, well, you can't always stay on the racing line, can you, when you're racing? That's the thing. You got to be able to brake offline and brake online and everything else that's around you.
Yeah, and I think that's a good practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great fun.
So I'm guessing after tonight's performance, you'll be looking over your shoulders at Kennedy, Crosby, Whitaker. I think it's going to be. I think that 4. I'm thinking bit of Bruges. There's going to be a couple of boys like Bruges level that's going to pop up and down, but I reckon the main 4 culprits are going to be those guys. It's going to be a pretty epic battle all the way to the end.
Yeah, my teammate Peter couldn't make tonight. Unfortunately, he was away.
Yep.
He'll be up there too, I think. So he'll be pretty quick. Yeah, it'll be interesting once we get to the next track to see where I sit in the field. So looking forward to it. It's
excellent, mate.
A lot of fun. I missed out last season with other things happening on Tuesday night. So
yeah. Well, it's good to have you back, mate. It's good to see you back behind the wheel. Who do you got to thank that supports the Angry Birds Racing?
Well, I'd like to thank Nick Hasler, our team boss who does all our paints and everything. Kumo Tyres, my wife for letting me get in here and do all this racing and practicing.
That's worth 2 points for 1 week, that is.
Kumo Tyres and AA West Automotive. That's my wife and my business out at McGrath Hill. So if you need any automotive services, look us up. And you guys for putting on the league and the broadcast, and all the other competitors for making it happen.
Excellent, mate. Well, congratulations. It's been an epic fight tonight. Great strategies involved and some nice, clean, sexy driving from all around you. So well done, mate. Hamish, anything left to say?
Oh, I think it's good to see Rick up there competing for wins once again. He was always one of my favourite drivers to watch. Not that there's any man love in that one. He's just an exciting driver to watch, and I always felt a bit crushed when you get the raw end of the stick. But good to see some more consistent driving coming out of Rick, and it's good that I finally get to call his action again after he's moved up to Split 1. So I'm happy on all ends, which is good.
Excellent, mate. Well, Lick, good luck for the rest of the season, mate. Hopefully, we'll see you up here for a few more podiums, mate.
Hopefully. Thank you very much, guys.
All right, take care, buddy. Well, Hamish, that's the end of round 1 of the Warren Browns V8 Supercar Pro-Am night on a Tuesday night, and what an epic fight that was. Rick Vigor takes out the first Pro-Am podium for the night, and Daniel Clutterbuck takes out the amateur one for the first round. So we're expecting a lot of battles through, and I quite enjoyed tonight, mate.
Yeah, mate, I think, Phillip Island always offers something up for racing, and I think, especially these first 3 rounds we got coming up for not only the Pro-Ams and Ams, but also the Pros and the Pro-Ams on the Sundays, really going to offer us up some good racing. And if this is a preview of what we're going to get on Sunday night when we come back to Phillip Island, I think we're going to be in for an absolute cracker when we get those Pros out there, mixing it up with those Pro-Ams. I think it's a real spicy cocktail that's getting ready to get shaken up for us. So, round 1 here tonight, Phillip Island, what a great start to the season. Next week, we're out at Mosport in Canada. One of my favourite tracks to see out. I love Canada. I love bringing out some Canadian banter and some Canadian references. So, there's, instead of runaway, it's going to be breakaway, and will we see anyone get bashed into the boards around that track? But, yeah, it's a phenomenal race. And then round 3, of course, out at Sonoma in a couple of weeks' time. So these first 3 rounds, very, very similar track styles. And I think it's really going to be a good test for these drivers. Tonight was a normal race. The next 2 rounds are some sprints. So it's going to be a good one for us here to start out the season. So I'm really excited, especially for next week, because I love motorsport. If I haven't sold that enough, absolutely.
You have sold that plenty, mate. You have sold that. But viewers that are out there still watching, please don't forget, tomorrow night we've got the Formula 3 starting, qualifying at 8 p.m. Thursday night we've got Motorsport Australia, Shannon's GR86 Nationals starting on Thursday night of our first round at 8 o'clock. Friday night, Hamish will be back on again for our Warren and Brown IMSA series, which is going to be epic as well. All these are all sold out. 50 guys, 50 drivers. We're not going to get 50 drivers on track every week, but I'm expecting, because tonight was our first night, that the rest of the series is going to be pretty fully chockers. And then Sunday night, as Hamish said, we'll be back here at the island, back here with the Pros and the Pro-Ams for some epic battles. 32 Pros, 18 Pro-Ams. It's going to be sensational.
Mate, exactly right. Just give everyone a little bit of a preview for what's coming up this week. As you mentioned, Formula 3 Nationals tomorrow, brought to us by Shannon Insurance. Round 1 out at Hockenheim, a sprint round. Absolute belter of a race that is going to be. Then we head over on Thursday night, as you mentioned, to the 8-6 Nationals, thanks to Shannon's Insurance. We head out to Imola. Oh, that's going to be some spicy action. Then for IMSA, off the back of a phenomenal Daytona 24-hour. Yes, I did watch the majority of that race, and yes, it was very nice. But off the back of an incredible Daytona 24-hour, Warner Brown Tools bringing us the IMSA Shadow Series. Round 1, and we get a little bit of a sneak preview for next week for the Supercars, because we head to Mosport, and that's going to be chef's kiss sensational. And then, as you mentioned, Sunday night, Supercars Pro and Pro-Am drivers back here at the island. So a phenomenal week of racing got to come. And then Monday night, we debut our Formula V series as well. Those boys will be heading out to Okayama, starting out next Monday night. So going to be an incredible week of racing to come for the SRWtv. Steve, mate, let us know, everyone who gives their support to SRW, because those guys definitely deserve a shout out, because without them we couldn't do this week in and week out and bring some phenomenal racing to the viewers.
Look, the support that we get from the viewers and from our stream sponsors is next to none. You got Shunts, we've got Warren and Brown, we've got Grim Industries, we've got Shannon's, and we've got Neuropower. So these guys all look after us and in their own special way. And without them, we cannot open the doors and do what we do, because it is an expensive thing to do. Please, if you haven't already, we have got plenty of places left in the Formula V series. It starts next Monday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a fixed setup, so it's good little car to drive and just get out there on a Monday night and just have a bit of a spin. So please get on there and sign up. From me, thank you very much for everyone coming out and supporting us for our first night out for 2024. And I'll see you guys soon on Sunday night. Hamish?
Mate, also just a big shout out as well goes to DSL, Warren & Brown Tools, and also Motorsport Australia as well. Thank you to everyone for watching here tonight. We really, really appreciate your time. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate you supporting the series, because without you, we cannot go racing week in and week out, and we cannot bring you the best possible, racing that we can on your screens at home. So we appreciate you guys supporting the series. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you're notified anytime we go live across our 6 nights of racing now across the week. And also hit that like button as well. Get into the comment section of this once it goes up as a video instead of a live stream. And if you're watching us live, get into the chat as well, because any engagement will help us grow the channel, grow the league, grow the series as well, and hopefully be able to bring on bigger and better things. There are some little things being worked on in the background, a few little surprises. We can't say anything yet, but the bigger this gets, the better it's going to be for everyone. So from me and from Steven, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you being here with us for the SRWtv Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars series here at Phillip Island for round number 1. Steve, say what you always say to those viewers, mate.
Right hard and stay safe, and see you next week.
To turn one, this is amazing. Up clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff from Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble.
Model right now because, tell you what, Bruce Tannock